Good evening. Are you here to watch some Dwarf Fortress? Well, I have good news for you. We have some Dwarf Fortress. First, we're going to check our levels and make sure everything's alright. And we're also going to make sure this time that I have centered the screen. Okay, I'm going to turn the audio down a little. And then let's move over to the fortress. This is actually not the fortress. This is a fortress, but it's not the fortress we were working on last time. It's a more advanced fortress as far as time investment goes. And as soon as I am sure that this screen size and everything works, we are going to start. That's right. I did want to change the resolution so this showed up a little better. I guess it's not that bad. The problem, of course, is just that the text is so small. You don't have to read most of what is going on. I'm going to probably dictate it to you. So we can go ahead and get started. So we're going to leave this game, save and return to the title menu. All right. Now we're saving announcements. That's good. And waiting for those. Oh, there we go. Now we're back at the title screen. Now, let's jump back into the game that we were playing. That is, I think, this one. I have too many now. Okay, let's start. I actually think it might be this one because that's region 4. And I'm going to go with that. Yeah, Rat Church, the Church of Rats. That's where we're at. Here we go. Gonna jump into Rat Church. The Church of Rats. I think our main goal today is get some beds built. Then once we have the beds and bedrooms, we can show you how generally to make that work. All right, let's talk about sunlight. I'm going to make this a little smaller, or zoom out a little. So I'm going to talk about security a little bit, and I'm going to talk about sunlight a little bit, and talk about living underground a little bit. Dwarves like to live underground, obviously. They're dwarves, so that's great for them. Slight problem for them is that after living underground for a long period of time, they can get a little too used to it, to the darkness, and then when they come above ground, they'll start throwing up and having a bad time of things. So to avoid that a little bit, I try to make them come up for air every once in a while. It's also good for lots of reasons to have your dwarves coming back to the surface because a lot of stuff happens on the surface and you're going to need their help up there. So to that end, we're going to try and make our bedrooms right below the surface, and we're going to make them a little bit isolated from the rest of the base. They should be easy to access, so like down this hallway, for instance, but they should be isolated and have their own entrance. And that's so that over time, what I'm going to do is have the dwarves come up to the surface to go to bed. I know that seems bad if you have them working really deep, but sometimes that's just what you have to do. I want to keep them acclimated to the sunlight, so I'm going to have them come up above the ground, like maybe cross a bridge so they're protected and above ground, or but the bridge won't have a ceiling so that they'll see the sun, then they'll go back underground to go to sleep. That's a long-term plan, though. Right now, all we need to do is make some bedrooms over here. And we're not going to make the top entrance to this yet because then I have to secure that. I've put walls around it. No thanks. Right now, we're just going to make some bedrooms for them to sleep in. The first thing we're going to need is beds. I don't remember if I made those last time. I don't think so. We can look at our stocks because we do have a manager and see that our beds, oh, we do have 7 beds, and they're of varying qualities. That's even greater. So I want to dig out the beds over here. I'm going to leave a little bit of space. I'm going to show you a trick about mining real fast in the new interface. And that's how to mine metallic metals and metal ores and gems easily so that you get all of them. So if we hit M for our mining menu, there's a little arrow here, or you can hit the N key, and that shows advanced options. Under advanced options, there are several ways to dig. There are also blueprints, which we will worry about much later. All, where you dig all the tiles out. Auto, where you only dig out the ores and gems selected. O, where you dig only ores and gems selected. And I think it's Y, which is only gems. The capital V, though, the important difference between the capital V and the O are that the capital V will keep going through the vein, which means first we'll get this nice green looking pickaxes. I'm going to zoom. Oops, that didn't work. I'm going to zoom in. There we go. So you can see the pickaxes. So these pickaxes represent that special command. The green means that they're going to dig out this limonite, and they're going to keep digging all the limonite that touches that limonite, which will leave probably a big scar in our fortress. But that's okay because we want those ores, we want those gems. They're worth a lot to us long term. So I'm going to set that on its way, and then I'm going to start mapping out the bedrooms. To start, you have a couple choices. This is all clay, which is not going to be great for bedrooms. You want to be able to smooth the walls and maybe engrave to make those bedrooms as fancy as you can. But this clay is going to make it so you can't smooth clay, and you can't engrave clay. You can't make clay nice and fancy. So I'm wondering, maybe I will instead build the bedrooms to the north, because here we have some bauxite, which will smooth, and some conglomerate over here, that'll smooth. So we will go up and make the bedrooms up here where we, I'm going to assume, have more rock and can smooth it to make nice bedrooms out of. So first I'm going to decide how far up I want to go. I don't need to go that far because in the beginning they're just going to be using underground tunnels to get there, and I don't need to increase their walking distance. They don't need the exercise. So, whoops. Okay, a quick tip. If you hit M and you've set it to auto, remember to set it back to all before you try to dig caverns out. So you can use the V key and capital V to toggle between those. Capital V gives you digging out veins, and V just regular digging. So I'm going to dig up a little bit more here, and I'm going to start laying this out just while the game's paused. I'm going to start right behind this office and just go north. We have room here for offices, and then we can go down a level to do dining rooms or what have you. Our farm is right down here, so we can put a dining room right above it. That'll be handy. There are also inns and taverns. I think I recommend building those outside or isolated from your regular base, because that's where visitors go. We'll get into that later. In fact, we'll get into dining rooms later. We're not even there yet. So I'm going to build, for my first 7 dwarves, they're my special little friends. I'm going to build them nice big bedrooms that are 3x5. Some players might not even consider that big. There's so much space in a fortress. You can make bedrooms enormous if you want. But I'm just going to start with a nice 3x5 bedroom for all these folks. So there we go. Look at that. So what I've done here is I've made a little room. I've made this 1x1 passageway because that's where we're going to put the door. I've made this hallway that goes all the way down. And that just makes it a little more efficient as far as laying these out. If I laid them all out along this 3 wide hallway, it would really cramp my style as far as getting around and filling out space. Um, the 1 wide hallway is fine because you can see here, once it's dug out, you're going to have what, 10 dwarves here mostly, 10 bedrooms. The dwarves might have children or spouses, so maybe 13, 14 dwarves going up and down this hallway. You're not going to get a traffic jam. So let's do that. I'm going to unpause and let them go. I didn't look at what the priority is. I think I only have 2 miners. The priority's 4, that's fine. We don't need a rush on this. I'm going to go back up to the surface. I have no idea what my dwarves are doing right now. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to look. It looks like maybe they're... Oh, that one's going to dig that out. Some are fishing, planting seeds. I don't really need a fisherman right now, but I'll let him go. So here we go. Let them move around a little bit. Check out what we're doing. I only found those 2 gems there, no gems adjacent to those. Over here, though, we're getting a lot of limonite or limonite. I should ask a geologist. I'm going to say limonite. A lot of it down here, and you can see he's digging this all out. And that's not pretty, but you were going to probably do this anyways because you want that ore. This is an ore of iron, yeah. Those ores, metal ores, one of the most valuable things in the game. Because you are going to make so many weapons, trap components. You can make barrels out of metal if you want. It's a core dwarven ethic to just use as much metal as possible. Wow. This is Arabia, and I think it's a she. She is really going all out on getting that limonite. Wow, that's a lot of limonite. Okay, I should stop staring and see what's going on up here. Oh, we've hit some hematite, another ore of iron. So I'm going to ruin all this by digging out this hematite, but that's life. The hematite is more important than pretty rooms for the dwarves. So I'm going to hit M, capital V. Also, make sure your advanced menu is open. If it's not, capital V will not do anything if you're using keyboard shortcuts. And then we're going to be in the auto mode, and I'm going to dig out these white jade, and let them do that. And I'm going to ruin this room by digging out the hematite. Hematite is great. And I want to take all the iron and make giant iron corkscrews and menacing iron spikes, but we'll get to that later. So another thing is this clay area over here will probably be good for just setting a clay gathering area for later when you want to make clay bricks and clay crafts and clay jugs and things. And those have to be glazed. The clay pots have to be glazed before you can use them to store food and drinks, I think, and that means more resources to process them. So whether or not that's better than making barrels out of wood, which is another limited resource, it's up to you. I think that it's possible. I don't remember, and the internet can help me here. If you need what you need to glaze clay, well, let's just Google that. All right, so I'm gonna just Google Dwarffortress clay pot. I'm gonna pause the game while I'm doing this. You can't see my Google window, but if you do a Google, you're gonna find the Dwarffortress wiki. Dwarffortress wiki is very useful, but note that it's tuned to version 0.47, which is an older version of Dwarffortress than the Steam version. It is the current version of the free Dwarffortress that's distributed by the developer, that doesn't have the graphics, that doesn't have the mouse interface as developed as this for Steam version does. But you'll find a lot of useful information there because a lot of this stuff hasn't changed. So to glaze, two types of glaze can be applied: ash glaze and tin glaze. So it looks like you're going to need ash to glaze pots, and that ash is going to come from wood. So you're going to need wood one way or the other, whether you're making a barrel or you're going to make a ceramic large pot out of clay. It looks like cassiterite, which is an ore of tin, can be used to glaze as well. That's the tin glaze. And the tin glaze is worth twice as much as the ash glaze. Okay, we're getting really deep down a rabbit hole here. Let's get back to bedrooms. So we've got some nice bedrooms laid out here. I believe we talked about dumping last week, and if so, there's a zone for it somewhere. There it is. It's down there. Not convenient for this application. So I'm going to quickly make another zone, another dump here. Oop, not that big. Another garbage dump. I hit Z. I go over and click garbage dump. Click here. Now I could resize it, but I'm only going to make it 1 by 1. Click again. Hit accept. And we've got a garbage pile. Now I'm going to hit I, which allows us to designate stuff. And then we're going to go to P, which is designate for dumping. And I'm going to dump all this, including the hematite, because it's not going anywhere bad right now. It's just going to go down to here. If you make like a lava dump later in the game so that your dwarves are dumping garbage into lava, make sure you're not marking things that you want to keep, because that won't work. So you can see some of the dwarves that don't have better jobs are now hauling this away. At least they have work to do. So we're going to clear out the rocks as much as possible. This isn't something you have to do to start with. You can save it for later. But I'm just doing it right now. So let's go with B for build, P for doors and hatches, and R, let's see if I have doors. I do. I have some conglomerate doors. I have one conglomerate door. Well, that'll let us build our first bedroom. And then I'm going to hit B, F for furniture, B for bed, and I'm going to start putting beds in spaces. I'm going to avoid for now putting beds in where they're dumpable rocks so that the doors don't get a little confused. I'm also going to go up here and click this keep building after placement. And that just means I click here, I place a bed, and I get to, my mouse immediately is ready to place another bed. So I'm going to pick that. Now's a good time for me to point out how you choose exactly which bed or quality of bed you're going to put down. This arrow over here indicates I've got different cherry wood beds. It turns out I only have one. This is a decent quality. I've already forgotten which the symbols mean. Here I have 2 persimmon wood beds. Persimmon? I think it's persimmon. An applewood bed. 1 saguaro wood bed. So by clicking this, I can choose a quality. Of course, these are the same quality. I guess I can choose, it's the pink one. And then I put it here. We have another space up here for a bed, although we're going to dig this out because that's valuable minerals. And we're going to put a bed here. And I'm going to mark those with MV. Again, we're already in it, but I'm going to mark those veins to be dug out. While I'm doing this, I'm going to hit I and capital F, so Shift F, to claim these items that are locked. If we look in here, zoom in, you can see this lock symbol. That means they're forbidden. We don't want them to be forbidden. We want them to be usable. So we're just going to hit I, capital F, select them, and now they're usable again. It's a great way for you to move a couple things for your dwarves. Just move them out of your way, and then continue on about your business. I'm going to dig a little bit more up here. Whoops, I'm forgetting to hit lowercase v to get back into regular digging mode. And we can dig this hallway up. We're going to dig out this vein. That's more hematite. We want that. Great. And what I want to do is dig a passage back through here so that when I put walls in here, I won't trap any dwarves in here, and I also won't um, lock off any resources that are still up here. So when I do that, I'm going to stop for a moment and just plan out some more bedrooms. These are going to be more general purpose bedrooms for loser dwarves who come later, not my special dwarves who started here. So we'll just make those simple 3x3 rooms, and boom. And now my dwarves can get out of this little crevice because other dwarves will come and dig all this out. Eventually. They might be stuck there for a little bit. Speaking of that, I'm going to build walls here to fill in these rooms now that I've dug holes in them. So let's say we're going to just put one solid wall across there. So let me go over that. B for build, N is for constructions, and L is the shortcut for wall. You select the first block where you want the wall, you stretch it out, you select the last block, and then you can pick what you want it made out of. I'm going to pick bauxite, 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 bauxite. I like bauxite for other reasons than building walls. It's a lava safe rock, which means you can make mechanisms and things to go in lava. Then again, I had a problem with that recently, so I'm not sure, but we'll find out. But we're going to build a bauxite wall there, and that's to enclose this bedroom. And then B and L, we're building another bauxite wall here to enclose this. I'm going to make it out of conglomerate. Whatever. It won't match. It's fine. The dwarves don't complain. Oh, we need to put in a wall here. B and L. Boom, boom. Bauxite. And we're going to put in this wall. Bauxite. And we're going to put in this wall. Bauxite. And that'll vaguely match. So you can see these walls that you've constructed stick out, even from smoothed walls. We've got smooth walls in the office, and they look nice. In a smooth floor, that looks nice. But your smooth walls will clash visually with your constructed walls. I'm sure that, there will be graphics packs eventually that if you don't like that, you can probably change it. But right now, that's the way it is. I'm going to hit M, capital V, and I see some jaspers, picture jaspers. I'm going to want those, so I'm digging them out. Let's see what's happening on the surface while this is happening. Even though we're focused on bedrooms today, I don't want to lose sight of what's going on up here. We have some cloth and some thread up here that's just ripe for somebody to steal. So I'm going to hide it away underground real fast. I don't think I've done that with any of the... Where are my other objects of value? I don't remember where I put stockpiles. That's not great. Let's see. Oh, wow, I buried them all the way down here. Interesting plan, Chuck. I guess I wanted to keep them more carefully secured away than I have in other fortresses where I kept things near the surface and like birds would steal them. That didn't really thrill me. So I'm going to put a stockpile down here really fast and put cloth on it so that these things laying out here, which some bird will just steal, aren't as easy for the bird to steal. And what do we have? With some cherry flowers, prickleberries. I'm going to mark some stuff to pick up. That's GG for gather plants. And then I just selected them. And there's a couple valuable plants to grab there. We can make some prickleberry wine. Okay, here I've got another pile of locked stuff. I want to make that usable again. So I'm going to go I, capital F, boom. Down here you can see it's capital F for unlock or claim forbidden items, F for forbid items. And then there's also dump, remove dump designation, which means it's not garbage. Items designated for melting at a smelter. You still have to assign a job to melt metal objects, but this will tell the dwarves what to melt. Don't melt. And you can hide things, which I don't do very often, even if stuff is messy, because then you lose track of things. And you got your options for painting those designations. All right, I've got one door. That was, I think, just an extra door. Now I have a manager. So on the topic of bedrooms and what we need in those bedrooms, I'm going to keep it simple right now, and we'll do advanced management in a future session. But if we hit O, actually I think we can pretty easily explain this, and it's really useful when it comes to bedrooms. Let's just say make bed. I'm going to change the number of beds to 5. These over here change the number of workshops that can be used to make them. We don't need anything that complex. Over here, we can change the number of things being made under this order. This gives us the status of the order. It's ready to activate. The manager needs to activate it. This lets us specify exactly what material we're going to use. I don't care. So here, this is conditions. This is extremely useful. I want to make beds I'm going to make 5 beds if I have less than 5 beds and if I have more than 10 logs. So I just select these things here and then I can adjust them up here. You can also adjust the type. So this is bed, this is log, those are the types. Material, I could say I want applewood beds, make applewood beds if I don't have applewood beds, but I do have apple logs. I'm not going to do that. And adjective, things like these are mostly not applicable to beds. I guess you could do wooden beds, but that's all beds, so we don't have to worry about that. Unrotten beds, beds don't rot, so we don't worry about that. Okay, we clicked back. This is back to the main screen. We can see now it's checking its conditions for activation. Well, we can check those ourselves by seeing whether or not these things are satisfied. If we right now we have less than 5 beds. Why do we have less than 5 beds? Chuck, you just placed like 7 beds. You have a ton of beds. What does it mean, less than 5 beds? That means less than 5 usable beds. Those other beds have been constructed, so they aren't really considered available beds. They're considered a constructed item now. So they can't be, those beds can't be used to build a bed, right? I know that's a weird way of thinking about it, but you have to think about a bed as the item of furniture that's made, and then the bed as the structure that's made out of that item. So this means less than 1 bed available in your furniture stocks. Now, you'll notice I checked down this number to 1, and now it's not satisfied. And that's because I do have a couple free beds still laying around. Looks like I have 1 free bed laying around. So I'm going to say less than 5. So now when my beds are when I have less than 5 beds that can be used to build a bed, then I will build 5 beds. So that order will go out to my dwarves. And this only happens if I also have more than 10 logs, because I want to have a couple extra logs. I don't want to run out of logs. If I'm that low on logs, I could have other problems, and building beds is not going to be a priority for me. So that's good. That's good for us to take beds. Okay, wait, I don't need this screen. So we're going to go and do that also with a couple other things. I'm going to make some rock doors. So I'm going to search in here and say rock door. I'm going to say rock door, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a similar thing. I'm going to say when I've less than 5 rock doors, we should make 5 rock doors. So as soon as our rock door count drops to 4, we'll make 5. We'll have 9. That'll keep us above water, so we can keep putting doors in places. Doors are pretty necessary. Now, in bedrooms, you also want a couple other things as kind of standard decorations that make your dwarves happy. A cabinet and a coffer. If it's rock, it's a coffer. If it's wood or some metals, it's a chest. So hold on, I was just responding to a chat. And it looks like someone's telling us where hot girls are waiting, so that's great. So anyways, talking about the bedroom furniture, we need coffers and cabinets. You can also do things like make statues to decorate the rooms, make other things to decorate the rooms. Almost anything is a decoration. But we're only going to worry about cabinets and coffers because it helps make our quarters into more acceptable quarters for the dwarves. I'm going to turn this down to 5 of each, and then I'm going to go in here and do basically the same thing. I'm just going to say rock cabinets. We're not going to worry about empty rock cabinets. I'm going to say if it's less than 5, make 5. And here again, I'm going to do the same thing. You'll also notice I'm not saying, oh, we have to make sure we have enough rock. Because if we don't have enough rock, we have big problems. That's even bigger problems than not having enough logs. Okay. If coffers are less than 5, cabinets less than 5. If doors are less than 5, we're going to make 5 of any of those items. That'll make it very easy for us to decorate our doors' bedrooms because we're going to need a door. And we're then going to put cabinets and coffers in them, and they'll be very, very happy doors. That's what we want. Okay, this wall is going to get made any second. This bedroom needs a back wall. B, N, L. That's a wall again. I'm going to go here, select all those, and I'm going to make all of them conglomerate. And then here we have another weird crevice. I'm going to mine that out. I'm going to go down and click all. Just mine that out so that my doors can get back here. And mine this space out again so they don't get enclosed in this little space. Then B, I'm going to right click to get out of that. B, N, L. And build a wall here. Again, we'll make a conglomerate. So our bedrooms are coming together pretty nicely. You'll notice I have some more rocks and things that need to be dumped. So I'm going to dump those. Well, yeah, I'm going to dump those. I realize now that some of these rocks might have been rocks that were going to be used to build these walls, and now I've dumped them, which means they won't be used to build the walls, which might cause some congestion, confusion, who knows. But hopefully the dwarves will clear it up. Or maybe they'll actually just take the trash and use it to make stuff. That's also awesome. I don't care. So I've dumped the rest of this. Again, we're just going to clean these rooms out. So I'm going to BFB are my keys for building the rest of my beds. So I think I only have one bed left to build. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beds. I put one back here. I'm going to deconstruct that because I actually want it closer. Because why not? When I only have 7 dwarves, and as I said that, I just realized I have some announcements, and one of them is going to be some migrants have arrived. Well, the first thing we have to do is name them. So if you're into naming them, like I am, you can hit name, and then this will sort them so that the ones you've named are at the bottoms, and the ones you haven't named are at the top. We have a question in the chat. How many beds do you put in a dormitory? As many as you want. Dormitories are essentially a bedroom that have multiple beds and aren't assigned to a dwarf. I don't know that there's an upper limit on how many dwarves can go in there or how many beds can go in there is a better answer, I guess. I haven't tried to push that to its limits, but, I think that's a good experiment. Someone should try that. So we're going to name these folks because I can't have my dwarves going around without names. So this fella's Rakust. That's not a good name. I'm going to call him Rad Crust. Crust with a K, yeah. Great name. This is a dwarven child named Ingish. That's just a bad name. I'm going to name her Baby Ingish. Okay, I gave her the same name. Yeah, well, this gentleman is, I can't even read that. What is, it's an E with an accent. In French, you would say Ezum, I think. Again, Dwarven Child, this is a terrible name. I'm going to name him Baby Eddie. When he grows up, maybe he can be Grown Up Eddie, but not yet. Let's see who else doesn't have a name. Cogsack. Oof. Oof. Rough name, Cogsack. Not a good. No. I'm just going to be very polite to you and name you Celine. Like Celine Dion. There you go. And we got Ilral. Sarvesh Lalak. Wow. She's preparing a raw fish. So I'm going to call her Fish Breath. That's not going to be a good name for her. She's not going to like that, but she'll probably still do her job, so whatever. Okay, now we've named our dwarves, we can go back to bedrooms. So when I want to isolate these bedrooms, I'll probably put a drawbridge right here, and I will have it up most of the time. So again, the dwarves have to leave, go up, and go outside to do their jobs, to go around the world, to experience life as a dwarf. That way, if I'm under siege, I can put the drawbridge down, and then they can get about underneath without having to go up and get shot at, potentially. But if you're not under siege, then you can force them above ground, which is nice for making sure they don't get an aversion to sunlight. All right, let's build that last bed that I moved, BFB. Oh, I have more beds now. So here we have an ashen bed that's a slightly better quality. I'm going to take the ashen bed of slightly better quality because, again, these are for my beginner dwarves who are great. I now have 5 more dwarves, although technically the children might bunk with their parents. We'll see how that works. Let's see if I have some more doors. B, P, R. There's a door. And no more doors. Okay, I have 1 more door than I had before. All right, we've got a bunch of dwarves now, and a lot of them probably don't have steady jobs. They're dumping items. I mean, that's a good thing for them to do right now. I do need dumped items, but I'm going to smooth all this, which is very ugly in this interface because it kind of covers everything out. But don't worry, they'll smooth it pretty quickly because it's a job anyone can do. So you won't have to put up with this for very long. I did see, I think somebody has already made a workshop plugin that makes it so you can better see through smoothing designations. Hopefully that'll just get integrated as an AI or an UI improvement in the future, because it is really hard to see underneath these. So they're going to be smoothies, which makes them nicer and makes your dwarves happier. And then we can engrave them, which makes them nicer and makes your dwarves happier. And we want happy dwarves. So engraving, smoothing is VM. It's down here in this menu, VM. And under that same menu is engraving. So you have to have smoothed the wall to engrave it. So let's engrave the walls and floors of our office. So we're going to hit V, and G is engrave. And we're going to engrave all this. Now, the interesting thing here is I'm engraving these top walls, the north walls of the office, which is also going to engrave the south walls of this bedroom. How do you engrave through a wall? I don't know. But they can do it. And that's great. When you inspect the engraved space, it will tell you often about the engravings, sometimes very detailed things about the engravings, if that's still correct. That used to be the case. I assume it's still the case. We'll find out after they engrave. And now you're going to see, look at all these people smoothing floors. I don't know if I have digging jobs for these miners, so I'm going to let them smooth floors for now. I'm going to check out my farm real fast to make sure things are working. Okay, we have no plump helmet seeds. That's not great. I'm going to grow... Ooh, what is going on with our plump helmets? I don't like that. I guess I'm going to grow pigtails, even though it might be a while before I use them. We still got 74 food, 31 drink. So I'm not worried about this dearth of plump helmets per se. But I'm going to look under our food and forget, I think it's plants actually. Technically not correct because a mushroom is a member of the fungus kingdom, which is not a plant. We still have some plump helmets, which is good. We don't have any plump helmets spawn, so that's why we're not planting any. We have the kitchen set. I think we talked about this last time. We have the kitchen set to not cook plump helmets, and that's because you cook plump helmets, you don't get a spawn. When you brew plump helmets, you do. So it looks like we're okay despite the fact that right now we're not growing any plump helmets. Again, I don't love that, but we'll grow some pigtails hopefully, and we'll make up for it in later seasons with more plump helmets. So anyways, this was our wet level. Then we dug further down and I think found more wetness on... No, there's no more wetness here. I don't know why I dug down yet in another level to put the stockpiles here, but whatever. And there's a wet level. So while those bedrooms are being smoothed, I'm going to dig out stairwell here. T, mining stairs, I guess. Stairs. We need to select at least 2 levels, so we'll select those 2. And we will see if our miners come to do the work. Unpausing helps. Apparently they are not interested. They are interested in smoothing walls. They might still be finishing the smoothing walls. We can kind of look, see here. We go to the U screen. This is the screen I keep bringing up to see creatures, which starts with your citizens. And you can click for pets, livestock, other. Right now we just have a bunch of ravens. Nobody's dead or missing. We have a lot of pets. Well, a lot of animals. Alpaca. No alpaca babies yet. Kind of could do better there. We have a stray bull calf that probably somebody brought with them. We've got a kitten, so now we're going to be... I mean, the cat game is probably going to get out of control. And we have a poult. That looks like a turkey to me. I don't know. That is somebody's pet. These are somebody's pets. You have a pet turkey. That's fine. And I'm going to actually set the dogs to be available as pets. And I'm also going to set them to be trained to hunt. Actually, 1 trained to hunt, 2 trained as war dogs. That's just kind of a why not. I don't even know if I have any competent trainers who will do a good job of that, but we'll find out. So they're still smoothing walls, I think. Very smooth. I was going to say we can check those tasks by going to the tasks menu, which is up here. Once you open any of your menus, you'll be able to go to tasks. Smooth wall, everybody's smoothing the heck out of walls. The dig orders aren't even here yet in the task list. They might not go into the task list. That might only be other designations. I'm not sure if the task list is only tasks they know about, which maybe they don't know about the dig designation yet. It's a very complex game. So we've still got these stairs that nobody is building. Oh well. This is a bedrooms episode, so I guess I shouldn't focus so much on the stairs. So what I might do, just to make life easier for me, is put a dormitory or 2 at the end of this hallway. So we're going to hit M and make sure that we're in the auto. And we're going to just dig out. Again, these are just going to be the same size of room that I'm using to house my great dwarves who I love. And these will be for loser dwarves who I like, but maybe don't love, who just showed up. So we'll assign those as dormitories. Put extra beds in them. That way when migrants come, they will have a place to sleep. It's not that big of a deal if they don't, but why not? The game, these features of the game exist for a reason. Ooh, so let's look at this detailed wall. Engraved on the wall is an image of two single-cut gems by Good. Great. Othenbungle, the stupid glumness. Interesting. Very interesting. This is Vutok Tuzung, the figure of conjuring. Engraved is a Doran Adlatier rendition of the figure of conjuring, a finely designed image of a demon rat and a buckwheat. Yay! That's our symbol. The demon rat is hiding the buckwheat. The image is the symbol of the Tower of Rats, a local dwarven government. Isn't that wonderful? Our walls are going to be covered in carvings of demon rats hiding. What did I say it was? It's I forget. It's buckwheat. That's right. Demon rats hiding buckwheat. That's our whole thing. That's our art. That's how we express ourselves. So these are nice and smooth, these rooms now, which don't need to engrave them all right now because I'll have plenty of dwarves later who won't have full-time jobs, and we'll make them do the engraving. Engraving, I think, does have a quality. I think if we look here, we can see this just says an image of two single cut, so nobody cares about it. This one says finely designed, so that I think that speaks to its quality. This one also finely designed, and again, it's the demon rat hiding buckwheat. Love that. Love that. Two tapered baguette cut gems. It's the symbol of quakes of feeding, a dwarven civilization. Great. This is exceptionally designed. So yes, engravings have a quality, which means you may want to set engravings to only be done by engravers. I'm not going to worry about that right now, but I probably will set that up later. And that'll just make it so that so smoothing can be done by anybody because there's no quality involved. But let's say, the engravings will really make a big impact. People will really be impressed by the engravings if I leave it up to only the engravers. But we'll worry about that later when we have a few more staff on hand. So I don't know how our stonemasons have been doing with the building, but first I'm going to check on those stairs because they are wet. So if my dwarves do dig here, I want to be able to smooth it quickly. They are not prioritizing that. I wonder if I just maybe set this to a 2 and then hit a T for the stairs. I'll just say, hey, are you guys more interested now? No, they are not. So be it. All right. Back to the bedrooms. You notice I twitch around a lot when I'm trying to kind of center on an activity area, and the game has its own ideas about how many squares it should move, and I don't love that. But it is what it is. I have to live with it. I guess I could do this to better see it. That is a little more satisfying because I want to see all the bedrooms at once. BPR for a door. We've got 3 doors now, so that'll be great. Put that one there, put that one there. I assume they'll smooth the floor under a door, so we'll put that one there. Now we've actually got bedrooms. So now that we have 3 rooms with doors and beds, I'm going to hit Z. I'm going to select bedroom. And I'm going to select multi. Now you can make a bedroom with just paint, but I'm going to show you a multi. Lilu Dallas, multi-bedroom. So I'm going to select all these areas. And it's going to create bedrooms automatically using enclosed spaces with beds as its criteria. So that's 6 bedrooms. Now, we want to make sure these bedrooms go to winners. So we're going to hit Z, click on a bedroom, assign a dwarf with this button. Zooming in does not make the UI bigger, but this button. And we're going to put our expedition leader in there. We're going to put the Ula, the miner, in there. We're going to put Arabia, the other miner, in there. We're going to put Dirty Joe, our farmer, in there. It's right there so that he's not tracking dirt all the way down the hallway. That's a joke. Stosh is going to go there. And, whoops, I clicked on Stosh's room again. this room is going to go to Cyril. We still have Dorian, but and Dorian can go right here. So I'll show you just painting one bedroom. When you paint a single bedroom, not a multi, you can actually kind of go crazy however you want. Like, this is a bedroom. The game doesn't care, except it won't let you do it to unoccupied spaces. That's not really as helpful, though, as the multi setting, which you can use even when you're going to make one bedroom. But if I'm going to paint this bedroom, it's hard to see because of all the engraving, or smoothing, sorry. But I would pick one corner that was the wall of the room, include the door, and include all the walls of the room, even if they overlap with another room. And we're going to accept, and then I'm going to put Dorian in that room. And then our only people without bedrooms are the losers who came along later. And, it's first come, first served. I have standards. Let's see what else is engraved down here. Blazing suns. A ring. 2 dwarves. Gasir, the deity of jealousy, depicted as a male dwarf and a dwarf. Cogsack. Oh, Cogsack. The dwarf is praying. Gasir is contemplating. Engraved on the floor is an image of a rat. Great. Dorian put a rat there. Engraved on the floor is an image of a tetrahedral tetrahedra. That makes sense. Love it when a plan comes together. All right, now we probably have some more beds. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to wait. Because I'm going to get the dormitory established, even though I could give these 3 other bedrooms to dwarves who have come as migrants. I'm going to wait on that. Let's see if they dug out the wet zone. Okay. We're going to hit VM and hope that our dwarves care to come down here and smooth these walls. I guess with the priority of 2, maybe they will prioritize that as a job. Good, because we don't want this to fill up with water. Our next level, I think, is also wet. Oh, we're saving. Okay. Oh, this is going pretty quickly. The save, I mean. So we've almost reached the 1 hour mark in this stream. Since I want the stream videos to be fairly browsable, I might end the stream after an hour. I know that might be disappointing to everyone. It might be. I know that is disappointing to everyone. But I want to make these manageable. So we will have more streams in the future. And this one is really about covering those bedrooms, which we've just kind of finished. So next time we'll probably look at maybe dining room. That's a good place. We'll see how our meals are coming along as far as gourmet meals go. You can see my drink count is getting a little low. So we'll probably need to take care of that. In fact, I might just take care of that now while these guys are smoothing walls. We're going to hit O. We're going to hit right click so that we're out of mining mode. Then we're going to hit O. And we're going to start saying we want to brew some drinks. I'm going to brew drinks from plants because, there's lots of plants that we brew from. We also brew from lots of fruits. You can imagine wine can be made out of almost anything. But here, what we're interested in is using especially our plump helmets and things, which will count as plants. I'm going to say if the amount of drinks is less than 50. That's a big number, but you generally want to have a nice backup because what's going to happen is you're going to run out of barrels, and that isn't great. So unrotten fermentable plants is greater than 10 because we're going to make 10 brews, and we want to make sure there are plants. This is, if you don't have plants, that's bad, but I just don't want extra problems and complaints coming up from the dwarves that they can't find unrotten plants, so they cancel a brew drink. So let's just make sure they're looking for it. Same with empty food storage items. So right now you can see there are not more than 10 empty food storage items, which means barrels or large pots. And that is usually what you're going to run out of. That's going to stop your food and drink production. you're going to see, like, why do I have 0 drinks? And it's because usually you've run out of barrels, or large rock pots also work, which is a great alternative to clay. Also, I was talking about making clay pots versus making barrels earlier. You can also make rock pots, rock large pots. Those are great and really cheap to make because rocks are everywhere. And elves don't get mad when you try to sell them, because elves hate when you chop down trees, which means they hate everything made of wood. They also seem to hate things made of animals. So I don't know what's going on with that. They seem okay with meat, but I had them complain to me recently, and I really didn't understand. They're not clear. They're just angry. Um, so I don't know what's up with that. Elves, what are you gonna do? Anyways, rock pots have a distinct problem being very heavy, so that does really affect their utility. It seems like they're great because they're free and they're safe for elf trading, but they take longer for your dwarves to haul around, so you do have to take that into account. I think the clay pots are a little lighter, and wooden barrels are the lightest in general. These are all things you can check yourself. You don't need me for that. So right now we don't have any empty food storage items. I'm just going to put in a job to make some rock pots. And I'm just doing that because right now I don't want to think about how much wood I have. And I'm going to make 25, just have a backup, whatever. My dwarves can get stronger by carrying around heavy pots. Seems like a good exercise program. Again, we're smoothing here. I'm hoping, I don't need to pause. I'm going to look down at my wet zone, and they have smoothed it. Great. So I need to maybe prioritize this digging as a little higher priority. I'm going to go up to there. I'm going to dig down. So why am I digging straight down? You see we're at elevation 30. Our base elevation is 38. We haven't even dug that deep yet. Deeper down generally gets you access to a bunch more minerals and gems. It also will let you find underground caverns, which have a variety of uses. We'll cover it some other date. And it lets you get to magma, which is incredibly useful. Again, something we'll cover as an advanced topic. But just know that the depths have plenty that you want. Some two-legged rhino lizard remains. That's great. What are these guys here? Oh, muskmelons. There's vines and leaves, but no muskmelons to harvest. Muskmelons are of something you can farm also. Just generally useful as plants. We're getting into autumn now, so something I'm going to do as we finish this video up, I'm going to look around and see what we have. We have apples here. We have sand pears. And I'm looking up at this little yellow window to see what we've got. We've got cherries. We've got almonds. We've got persimmons. And these are all falling off the trees right now because it's early autumn. And so what we're going to do is take advantage of this and probably over-occupy our poor dwarves, but, so be it. I'm going to try to do this a different way than I've done it in the past. I'm going to just kind of create little zones specifically around the trees for fruit gathering. So we hit Z, gather fruit, and then I'm just going to make a little zone around the tree. So now we're going to have access to apples, sand pears, cherries, and that's going to mean we can make better dishes because we have more ingredients, and wine, which is great. And with the almonds, we'll be able to make a paste like an almond butter. I'm not sure about that off the top of my head. I've messed too much with olives. Almonds. Olives would be a different thing. I don't know that they're in the game. Amazingly, almost everything else is. So we're just setting up little gather fruit areas around these trees. I don't want to set up too much because my dwarves will literally do nothing else if I set too large of an area. But on the other hand, these fruits are useful, so I don't want to let them to rot either. You could probably if you had enough fruit bearing trees in your immediate area, live without farming. Oh, it's a dead tree frog. That's a shame. Look how cute he is, but upside down because he's dead. Anyways, more in the tree frog. So we've got some nice fruit gathering zones. I'm going to zoom out just to get a look. Looks like I did about 6, 7 trees. I'm going to do the other ones on this side of the river. I don't think I care that much about like which kind is which. These are more almonds, sand pears, almonds, apples. These are all pretty much equally useful. The almonds might be a little bit different to the apples because apples, cherries, persimmons, I think you can make wine out of all those. Almond wine's not a thing I'm familiar with. I'm going to make another zone here for this. I'm going to make for these 4 trees. Here, it's technically 5 trees, but whatever. I think only 4 of them are fruit trees. And then I'm going to make another zone here for these 2. I guess 3 trees. There's a 3rd one there. I guess I'll include that one too. This is a pretty big area, and my dwarves are all set to gather vegetables and gather fruit, which means they're going to be busy. We can see them gathering plants already. That's not just the plants I marked to gather. It's also going to be the fruit that will show up as gather plants. We have somebody eating, somebody making a rock door, which is great and useful. People drinking, and lots of gathering fruit. Somebody's cleaning a fish. Wonderful. Our farm is... our farm needs to be cleared up, finished up. Chuck, what were you doing? I'm going to set this to 1 because I need this. Needed to continue finishing this farm up. And this is all rough. I'm going to smooth that. Whoops. VM. We're smoothing. I'm not going to smooth this. I'm going to tell my miners to get this valuable ore out of the walls. Yeah, I let this go. I forgot about finishing this up. Oopsie. Let's see if we're flooding down below. They haven't dug this out. Oh, the designation's wrong. I don't know how that happened, but I'm going to go back. MT. I'm going to set this as a 3. And then I'm going to do this. Okay. Actually, I am going to undesignate this because I have other things I want to pay attention to. So let's finish the farm and the bedrooms, and we'll worry about digging deep into the planet another time. I guess world, I don't know if it's a planet. It may not be round. Might be a flat earth situation. So this is our, oh no, winter is coming. Game of Thrones reference, I guess. Oh, merchants are here. Whoops, I wasn't paying attention. I hope they're still here. Yay, there's 2 merchants. You want to build a trade depot earlier than I did. You want to be paying attention to the game and what you're doing and not failing. If I don't trade this autumn, it's not the end of the world. I am doing pretty well, but generally you want to trade every chance you get. It just improves the quality of your fortress, which has its own ups and downs, I guess, but still. You can see right now we need a broker with the appraisal skill. I need a broker with the appraisal skill. There's diplomacy. Okay. They give us our news so we can look at the world screen, which is down here, or capital Y. To open the world screen, that'll tell us what civilizations and such. I'm just going to pick kind of randomly what I want them to bring. How about some cow leather? I don't know. I don't think I want to get fancy. I don't get too expensive. So let's go with cow leather. And I'm going to say some metal bars. How about some random bars? Just picking randomly. Doesn't really matter to me at this point. I'm more interested in just generally trading. Them bringing plump helmets is usually not a bad thing. Ooh, look at all the garden vegetables they have access to. This isn't always the case. So these might be, some of these might be after I eat them, I can grow them. And again, I'm always looking for more ingredients for my gourmet meals. Some cages. I'm going to go with just copper and nickel cages. Cages are useful for lots of reasons. I'm not going to click on barrels. They'll bring barrels and food. I don't care about any of this, I don't think. Dice. I'm going to say dice. Yeah, bring me some dice. And yeah, I'm not worried about any of this other stuff. You want to pick some things because they want you to pick some things. And it's just good diplomacy. They like to make deals. And they're going to say, we need amulets. Make a bunch of amulets. We're going to offer you 213% of the price for amulets. So just keep that in mind. You can look that up again in the map screen by looking at civilizations. And then if we look here, we can see we've asked for cow leather and all this other stuff, and they've asked for amulets under requests. We can also look at what the queen's name is. Not that useful. Let's go back to the stuff we're trying to fix. All right, so we're starting to smooth this out. This is damp and rough. I'm going to smooth it too. I don't know why I didn't do that already. I probably just wasn't being very smart. I'm going to build a conglomerate wall right there. And I'm going to build 2 conglomerate walls right there. And we'll come back and get that ore on the other side of the wall later. I'm not worried about it right now. I'm going to hit M. I'm going to put the priority at 1. And we're going to dig out. Actually, yeah, we're going to dig out some of this. We can see the water is already flowing in. And that's because I left so much water to fill this room up. So we're going to have an easy time making mud in these spaces. There's mud there, so we're good. And I don't know what's going on with this. Oh, that's water. So let's just quickly finish that. Our bedrooms are looking good. The dormitory we can smooth out and build real fast. I'm going to smooth it. And then I'm going to build a door, BPR. Going to put a conglomerate door on that real fast. Gonna look at my farm again. I'm gonna dig these 2 spaces out because they are limonite, and I want that. Okay, we're chugging along. The trade depot is not getting built. I don't know how long the caravan will wait. I've got a lot of alerts over here I haven't been paying attention to. Dogs are fighting with wild boars. What are you going to do? The outpost liaison is here. Damp stone, kittens, baby alpaca, and more migrants. I got to name them. Can't have migrants running. Look at all these children. Why are you bringing me children? They can't work. This baby disdains peace. Great. I'm going to... Baby war might be a little too. High social awareness, though. Impatient. Well, that's just a baby. I'm going to call her baby... Oh, man, I don't know. See, her name is Ingiz. That's not a good name. I'm going to call her Baby Gizmo. Maybe she'll grow up to be a mechanic. I don't have a Gizmo, do I? No, I don't have a Gizmo. I use Gizmo a lot for mechanics. Okay, and we got Lorbam, the dwarven child. I'm going to name him Bam Bam because that just works. Then we've got Obok, a miner. Great, love a miner. Looks like he has a lover and 2 children, so he's a family man. He's exasperated when caught in the rain. And he was nostalgic when talking with a child. That's nice. So I'm going to name him Mr. Nickel. Because he digs. Maybe he'll find some nickel. And Zasset, the weapon smith. Let's see what his thoughts were. Grouchy. Well, there you go. Boom. You're grouchy. Shouldn't have been grouchy if you didn't want that nickname. And we're good. There's our migrants. They're coming in. Again, more demand to build a dormitory. So we're going to finish this dormitory before we end this episode. And that won't take us too long. They're smoothing out the dormitory. We're also going to try to finish this farm that I wasn't paying attention to. I'm going to put a conglomerate wall right there while we're waiting. We've got mud almost all the way over here. Waiting for people to do their jobs. All right. All right, look at that. We've got a nice smooth room. So now we're going to build beds in this room. It's going to be our dormitory. There's an applewood bed. Actually, you know what? I don't mean to be cheap, but I'm going to click here. So if there's multiple things stacked on a space, quick tip, you can go over here and they're tabbed out. So I don't care about this conglomerate. I care about this bed. I'm going to cancel construction on the bed because I'm going to be a cheapskate, BFB, and use only the least fancy beds. I don't know that I have that much of a choice. Ooh, these two cherry wood beds are not fancy. No quality markings on them. So, and these ashen beds, no quality markings on those. Now I'm already out of beds. That's a pretty low quality one, so I don't mind building that also. I'm already out of beds, but my manager will realize that and quickly make more beds. Or order other doors to make more beds. I'm going to assign a broker because we do have a trader, and it looks like it's going to be Domar because he has some skills. So again, you hit N, click on the broker, pick your broker, and now they're the broker. And assuming this trade depot gets built before the caravan just leaves, a broker will be required to trade at the caravan. Maybe the timing will work out so that that's how we'll start the next episode. Or maybe I'll have to do that simultaneously with the dormitory. Okay, I won't, because the dormitory is pretty much ready. I'm going to dump these, and what I'm going to do to dump these, instead of just using the zone, I'm going to show you you can also click on the rock, and then click the garbage icon, and they will be dumped. There's another one. Great. Now I'm going to hit Z. I'm going to pick a dormitory, and I could size this out. But I'm also going to show you that if you pick bedroom and do multi, and then pick this, what we're going to find out is a dormitory was created because there were multiple beds. And there's the dormitory. So you can assign the dormitory. I don't understand this in interface entirely. I guess that you can assign it to an existing temple, inn, or whatever. So eventually what you could do is say, for instance, I've got a tavern. This bedroom is attached to the tavern, which I think means that visitors will use that bedroom, which you can get into later in the game. All right, and that's bedrooms. So now they dwarves have a place to sleep. They probably feel a little bit better. This one's not happy about a bedroom that I can see. Real sad about getting caught in the rain. But they will have better thoughts about sleeping in a room, or more to the point, they will have no negative thoughts about not having a room. So, yeah. Just looking at their items. They have a room. They have quarters. The quality of their quarters will be listed here. So if it was, I think, if it doesn't have any word, that's actually kind of good, because I think there's poor and modest maybe. So I think just the fact that it's smoothed and there's a decent bed means that they consider this decent quarters. This, for instance, that's also just quarters. If we look at this dwarf, though, this child has no quarters. And that's bedrooms. All right, we did a lot this episode, including engraving, bedrooms, trying to fix this farm that I've messed up a little, not badly yet. Obviously, I should focus on that a little more next time. And starting to build a trading post, a trading depot. We also gathered fruit. So next time we'll try and see if we can do the trading depot, assuming that caravan doesn't leave before I could get it built. It's still early autumn, so I think they'll stay for a while. We can make sure another baby alpaca, or an alpaca became a baby alpaca. I'm not sure. We have wild boars around, so something I might want to do is build traps to catch them. They're not vermin, so you don't use animal traps. You use actual traps, like a cage trap. In fact, you want to use a cage trap because otherwise you don't capture them, you just murder them. And you can't, I don't think you can recover a corpse from a trap and use it for butchering or anything else. So you want to be able to utilize the animals, which means you want to capture them in a cage, then have an animal trainer tame them, etc., etc. So that might be good because there's a lot of wild boar running around, and that would be a great side project to have. I've got some puppies now. I'm going to make those available as pets. And we have some kittens. I'm not worried about those. They will find people if they want to. I'm going to make this bunny a pet. And I'm going to leave the alpacas alone. Okay. All right. So thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back with episode 3, which will probably focus on trading if we can get that trader to go. If not, we'll find something else to do, like fix that farm. And that's, I think, it. I think I covered all the stuff I wanted to cover in bedrooms. So yeah, get out there, fort those dwarves, and strike the earth. Have a great day, and make sure you name your dwarves. They appreciate it.